What's up?
This could very well be the moment.
It could be. It could be.
Do you feel a special way?
No.
Good. It's the perfect answer.
No.
Good. You've had enough time to consider all the options, understand how this works. You're a level-headed, intelligent guy, even though you're a gym teacher.
PE, but yes.
I'm from New York, dude. It's gym shoes, sneakers.
A degree costs a lot of money. It doesn't say gym on it anywhere.
Pardon me. I should, like I said, you're smart.
I mean, I didn't earn one, but they gave it to me anyway.
They just handed it over to you like Rush Limbaugh or the president. An honorary degree. All right. So, have we come this close yet?
No. We have not reviewed a commercial lease.
Okay.
Yet.
So here's the way that this always works for me. You haven't. We've been making the calls all over Illinois. We got one. We got a really good rate of rent. We've got a willing landlord, and we sent a letter of intent. And we're always slightly ambiguous with the LOI. A letter of intent is just that. It's not a legal and binding document. That sometimes they want to sign them. When you buy a car, you know, the salesman slides, pardon me, the four square over, and that's just four things: the price of the car, your trade-in, your monthly payment, and the percentage rate, right? You know, the only thing that matters on that paper is the price of the car. That's all that matters. The rest of it is all gobbledygook. And then he takes out a pen, right? I'm going to go to the tower and see if I can get this done for you. I'm going to fight for you. He drinks beer with the manager 6 days a week. He's not going to fight for you. He's going to fight for his paycheck, his bottom line. When you put that pen to paper, what does it mean?
At that point, nothing.
Nothing. It's psychological, and it's an old trick, and they still do it in car dealerships today. You know, the closer is going to come in, and then you're going to go to a little room. It's going to be another 45 minutes dealing with finance and paying for undercoating and all that crap that's already on the car. Okay. Great. But when you put pen to paper, that's a moment in time where they know that psychologically you're committing to that price and that vehicle, and you're saying, yes, you'll buy the car. The letter of intent that we send to a landlord is not a legal and binding document. It's certainly not a lease.
Right.
But it's also very, very exciting on one side, scary on the other, because it's the intentions. And stop me if you've heard this. You know, you're going to marry a girl. You've decided she's the one. The walk down the long gravel driveway to talk to dad.
You can't fool me twice. Yeah.
The long walk down the driveway to talk to dad, you're going to tell dad your intentions, future father, right? You know, hey, I want to marry your daughter. That's the scariest part, really. But you're not married he says, yes, sir, I like you. You're a PE teacher. He shakes your hand and off you go, willing and ready to buy the ring and do the rest, right? That's just the LOI in our scenario. That's just stating your intentions. Are you married when you go to church? No, that's not the marriage. That's just a ceremony. That's why they call it a ceremony. You're not married until you go down to the county court clerk and you sign for a $14 piece of paper. Then you're married. I got married in Italy. Don't get me started on paperwork.
That's funny. Mine was in Europe too, in Ireland.
Should have just had a ceremony there, but my wife, she's on the phone literally crying. I have video of her crying tears. I got to pull that up. Everything else is all just pomp, circumstance, cake, and champagne. But the scariest part is that walk down that gravel driveway, asking for her hand in marriage, telling the future father-in-law your intentions. And that's what an LOI is. We're past that.
Right.
Now, I told you to go over this lease, which they have drafted with a fine-tooth comb. Why? Because I'm not an attorney. I don't claim to be one. I don't play one on television.
Right.
This lease is a legal and binding document. It's important to you. And I'm going to tell you what I think. But really, you're the one that's going to look at it very, very carefully. First of all, legally, they can't put anything in a lease that's not legal. They can't say that if you fail to pay, they will take your car. Or worse, your firstborn son. You understand. I know it's laughable, but it's true. They can't put anything illegal or untoward in a lease. It scares that. Bro, I've had people that have been in this process with me for months, and we get an LOI accepted and we get a lease sent out. They are prepped and ready to sign said lease, and I never hear from them again.
Right.
I used to think that those people were trying to screw me out of the second half of my payment, which is not the point for me. We have years and years together dealing with this. I've never met you, but I like you. I hope you like me. We get along.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to the turkey at Thanksgiving and the scotch at Christmas, and hearing from you that, hey man, this store has changed my life. I've minted many, many millionaires. So I tell you to look over the lease with a fine-tooth comb, but let me tell you what I think. First of all, how many pages is it?
It is 1, 2, 4, 7.
7 pages. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like cookie cutter stuff.
Well, dude, listen. Again, standard fare for me is this. If you have a 75-page lease, head for the hills. There's no reason for a commercial lease to be 7. You can see a Walmart on a street corner is 75,000 square feet, and their lease wasn't 75 pages.
Right.
For you as the tenant, less is more. I've seen leases on cocktail napkins. Sign that bugger. Sign it. 7 pages, fantastic.
Yeah.
Tell you another story. My first free laundromat. We all know that I bought one. We all know that those of us learn by burning our hand on the stove. You never do that again. Always cut towards the heart, right? My first free store, an adorable little Korean lady. She gave me the store. She was thinking about putting a tile store in there and then said, well, no, the infrastructure's there. There's a lot of back and forth. Well, she handed me a 5-page, mostly handwritten lease. Most of the stuff was crossed out from the previous tenant. I gave it to my attorney. I didn't ask him whether or not I should sign that lease. I just thought, this is nuts. So he went over and reworked it, and he turned it into 12 pages. He charged me $5,000. I met her at a bank so that we could do the notary thing. It was very amicable. We walked in, and I handed her that 12-page lease, and she looked through it, and she said, I don't sign this. I don't understand.
Right.
I'm like, Sue, hold on. I went out in the parking lot. I called my attorney. I can still smell the air that day. I said, bro, she ain't having it. She won't sign the lease you created. And he's like, oh, good. She wants to sign that lease you sent me? Sign that one. Like, dude, what did I spend $5,000 for?
Right.
I didn't communicate, and that's why this conversation is so very important. Always communicate with me. Not first, not last, just somewhere. Throw me in the mix before you make any decisions, whether it's a soap machine or a new changer, or God forbid, trying to do something big like put a card reader in. You know better.
Yeah. Straight cash, homie.
This is very important. So I learned that lesson, and I'm passing that lesson on to you. Less is more. A 7-page lease, fantastic.
Yeah.
Now you tell me what is in the pages of this lease that you would like to change?
To be very honest, I don't see anything that stands out that I want to change. It seems like all standard stuff. Got to have insurance, all the usual things I would have expected.
Yes.
And they're saying they're item 27. They have to provide a fully functional HVAC and boiler in good order at time of possession.
Everything that we asked for. That's probably $40,000 right there that you're getting for free.
So again, this is the first one of these in this line of my life that I've ever seen, but I don't see anything in there that is a deal breaker for me, or even anything, I don't know, that I would go back to them with. If we got a year abated.
12 months free rent.
Security deposit. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want the security deposit. I know in the past you've negotiated to get that.
You are not going to pay a security deposit
As part of, right, a future payment or...
Well, let's not go there yet. My first and most pressing goal is to get you away scot-free, of course. What is the security deposit they are asking for?
Equal to 1 month's rent. Security deposit and first month rent shall be due at execution.
Yeah. So when you sign the lease, you're going to get 12 months free. Isn't it funny how none of this really makes sense if you lay it out? It's legalese. Why are they going to give you a year free, but yet have you come to the table with the first month's rent? With the first month rent is really going to pay month 13, right?
Yeah.
Does it say that, or do they call it first month's rent, or they say it's a security deposit equal to the first month's rent?
It says security deposit will be equal to 1 month's rent. Security deposit and first month's rent shall be due at execution.
Yeah. Okay, so they want the first month's rent and a deposit. Now, bro, let me tell you, this is not a lot of money.
Right. No, it's not at all.
It's not. And it's also not, and this is the point. This is what negotiating is all about, where so many of my clients at this point in their life say, I don't want to rock the boat. We've come so far. Let me just give them that check. No. You're going to give them a free loan? That security deposit ain't coming back.
Right.
What if Russia invades and we get nuked? You're going to lose your money. We don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
You watch the missiles coming and you're going to say, damn it. There goes my security deposit.
Right. And I've seen you do it before, where you see if you can get that to be part of a future payment.
What I'm hearing you say is that's all you're concerned about. It's the only thing in 7 pages, the first thing I look at when I look at these leases come across my desk, it's one a day these days. And the first thing I see is how many pages. I scroll, I'm like, 7 pages. Perfect. Brilliant. Yeah. So we're going to call. We're going to say, let's do this thing. Now, my concern is that there is a real problem with supply chain right now. You know that.
Right. Yeah.
You understand that. What we have here on paper is 12 months abatement, and you can't say, well, Bruce doesn't own the building. He's the landlord's agent, right?
He is or working with the landlord's agent.
Yeah. He works for Premier Commercial, and he's not the landlord.
No, he's not the landlord.
We told him to draft a lease and get it did, but we need to turn the knife just a little bit here last minute. And we need to talk about what we do if 12 months goes by and you're not able to get that equipment in place. You can't operate. The equipment is still in the store, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
My guess is that some of it works.
Yeah, your goal with this, you tell me, what's your immediate goal? What are you going to do day one here?
Well, we're going to clean it up, paint the walls white.
I love it.
Well, we'll see.
First thing you're going to do.
The ceiling I got to mess with. Got to get a distributor in there.
Yeah. First thing you're going to do, walk up. I mean, on the outside of the building, before you even get the keys, you're going to put a help wanted printed sign. You know me and handwritten signs. They're a no-no. Giant black letters on an orange background, help wanted, and your cell phone number. We have so much to talk about, Vince. What is to come next? You need to start lining up your contract attendance, okay? So do that first.
Yep.
Second thing you do, when you get the keys, you call every single distributor and say, look, silly, I need you to jam as much equipment in here as you can, so come and give me the best price, okay? That's where you're at.
Yep.
But I don't want to be ambiguous. We need to talk about the what ifs in regards to equipment here.
Right.
So let's have the quick conversation. All of this is academic. Let's get Bruce on the phone.
Okay.
And he understands full well that you're the guarantor. He's never asked who I am. That's always people's fear. Like, he's going to ask who I am. Well, he knows. He gets it.
No,
I'm a mouthpiece.
my name on there. Yeah.
He knows I'm a mouthpiece, for lack of a better. I've had plenty of landlords that are very mom and pop, very upset that they don't want to deal with me. You know what that means. We've all seen the cop shows. If police come in, they want to beat you with a phone book till you talk. And you say, lawyer. Well, I'm not an attorney. But these landlords want to get you alone in a room with a bright light and beat you with a hose. And we're not going to allow that. We never do. The smart money says, oh, well, you're not guilty of a crime. You didn't do anything wrong, but you still probably shouldn't talk if they've zipped you up and think you're guilty. Not a stretch at all. Let's call Bruce, and all I'm going to say is, you know, the first thing is we need to get the keys. It's always a small thing, and in order to ask, hey, line through the deposit. It looks like it's boilerplate. We'll happily bring first month's rent that'll pay month 13, but let's line through the deposit. Yeah. And we need to put a finer point on equipment. Look, we're going to get that equipment in there, but I want to let him tell me what they are willing, that we need an addendum on this regards to equipment. Okay.
All right,
here we go. Come on, Bruce.
Hi, it's Bruce.
Bruce, Danny D, how's it going, buddy?
Good, Danny.
Got the lease? Couple quick items. I'm not sure of the line. The big issue is this. You know all about supply chain issues. I don't need to go into it. It's the same with laundromat equipment, right?
Okay.
I don't want to call up and say, I mean, look, we've been asking for and getting 12 months of abatement forever, because it's not about getting this store operating the way it is. You understand that. The equipment is aged. It's at end of use. It's no good to us. However, just like anything, I ordered a refrigerator for my house. We finally decided to buy this expensive fridge, and we went down to Home Depot and paid for it. And the guy says, well, 6 months, you can have it. You get it.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. I don't want to. You get it. You know, it's all over the news, and it's typically one part. We're going to go to Hips, Speed Queen, Wascomat, American Dryer, Dexter. We're going to go to every single distributor to try to get the best price for the equipment, because it's all the same. Some of it is made in the same factories. I don't want to bore you with all the detail, but right now,
I think several brands are made by the same company.
Yeah, exactly. It's Infinity and Nissan. It's the same thing. They just rebrand it. I want to be able to put an addendum in writing. Obviously, we haven't known each other long enough to have any issues, and I don't want that. But what if we can't get equipment in 12 months, where it's taking 16 months in some cases to get this equipment? Obviously, we can't go to distributors and tell them that we need equipment until we have the lease signed, so it's a sticky widget. It has to go this way, and this way is not backward. You understand?
Yeah.
I'd like to put an addendum in your hands regarding the what if, because we want to get this store retooled as soon as possible. We're going to get it running.
You just have to, you have to give me an addendum, and you have to give me a written explanation.
Sure.
You just gave me verbally, and see how it fits with the landlord.
Absolutely.
He may or may not be amenable to it, but at least you'll know.
Okay.
And if he's not, and it's not unreasonable based upon the constraints that you have, for this kind of equipment. I mean, I've heard the same thing about,
and I want to say, Bruce, you've been a pleasure to deal with thus far, and I'm sure that, I can't be certain what may or may not come, but we're interested in doing this, obviously, getting it done, obviously, and you said amenable, you've been nothing but. So let us put that at. The other thing you can probably answer, we come with first months. We'd like to scratch the security deposit you're asking for. I know it's small. However, it's basically a 15-year free loan. We don't intend to break this lease at any point. So I'll put that in writing as well. Give me a day to put together an addendum and explain what we need. And I don't want to be ambiguous about the time, but we want to make sure it's probably be like another additional 6 months at best, because God forbid we end up paying rent on a space where nothing's coming in. That's going to crush anybody.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I understand. Right. So I'll look for your email on that.
Good. I'm a phone call guy. I like to talk. So I want to make sure you don't see that email. What the hell's wrong with this guy? We'll follow up with an email.
I'm glad you called about it. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Bruce. Talk soon.
Thanks, Dan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, the deposit's gone.
Yeah, well, but very possibly.
Well, he didn't say no, because in my experience,
he sold it.
Yeah, you've heard it before where they say, well, you know what? We've never, ever signed a lease without a deposit.
Right.
That's what they always say. And it's so funny because look, negotiating is negotiating is negotiating. And when someone says, well, I had this motorcycle my whole life, I got to get $2-3 grand for it. All I heard is 1,500. Who
right.
says 2-3 grand? What? Okay, the best you can hope for, brother, is 2. You ain't going to get 3 out of me. Well, why don't I give you 3,500? Right. So when a landlord says, well, we've always received deposits from every single one of our lessors, I'll say, well, not anymore. So good news.
Yeah.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you, because let's face it, I'm an orator. I want you to put together that addendum. And what you're essentially asking for is 18 months or 12, whichever is greater, if there's a delay in equipment arrival. Does that make sense? And I'll touch it up. And an addendum, meaning they're just going to tack that onto the existing 7-page lease, making it 7.5 pages. No congratulations yet. Email it to me as soon as I see it.
Okay.
We'll send it to him. Thanks for the time.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Later, bro.
Bye.
We've had a couple of live streams today, and I think I've committed, if you will. I should be committed. I've committed to doing more of these, like we talked about, the good, the bad, the indifferent. I don't know if Bruce is going to answer the telephone. I know that when people negotiate, it's like stage presence, right? They get nervous. They choke up. I don't. I actually enjoy it. When you hear the phone ring on my calls, it's probably, hey, who's that? Hey, I hope somebody answers. So do I, because I want to get work did. I want to get it done. This has been already a long road for me. Owning my stores, buying my first store, like so many people that buy a laundromat and then realize, what the hell did I do? What have I done? Because those are braggadocious individuals that have always done well in business typically, that have put some money away typically, Or perhaps Graham passed away and left them some money, or maybe they won a bit of lottery cash. I don't know. But the smart folks say, I'm not going to let this burn a hole in my pocket. I'm not going to buy a car that I can't afford to service. I'm going to start a business. Being steeped in this industry for so long, I've seen it. The people that spend that money on laundromats. Don't. Just answer the YouTube question. What if I want to build a laundromat in my small town? Don't. Because you will likely never recoup the cost of that build. Why? Don't forget why you're doing this, because you want to own a cash business. No. Because you want to sweep the floors. No. Because you want to profit. Yes. And if somewhere along the road you slip, fall, trip, take the wrong fork in said road, you'll end up in misery. That's easy. I'm not supposed to talk about that, right? I'm a guru, right? No. I'm a realist. You want to get into coin and cash laundromats? Good. Keep it simple. There's far, far, far too many of these stores that are available for the scooping up, i.e. our friend Vince. The process. Know what you're doing. The lease, these spaces aren't owned. If you have a building and you want to put a laundromat in, for the love of God, don't. Don't. If you've got 10, 20 laundries under your belt and you know what it takes to be successful, you've got a great relationship with your distributors, plural, great, maybe, but not those of you that are new to this. Sale price for every laundromat across the universe is $300,000. Why? Because someone else paid that for it. And now I'm going to sell it after 6 months because I didn't know what I was doing, and I should charge $310,000. Why not? I deserve $10,000. I swept the floors. There's too much to know. There's too many moving parts. If you're brand new to this channel, like and subscribe. Please do that. Because I go live all the time. I don't want you to miss it. If I'm entertaining, thank you. That's not my goal here. Never been a YouTuber. Been on YouTube since 2006. Remember when they had the blue screens with the white lettering? You fix your 87 Toyota Corolla transmission. Never been a YouTuber. Never monetized my channel. YouTube's going to push everything down to the bottom if I don't monetize, so I did. I'm not putting commercials on top of commercials here. I want you to get into your brain the proper procedures and everything you need to know so you can do this. I have minted millionaires, dozens and dozens of them all over the world. I want you to join this club. Do it right. You already have a laundromat and that's why you're here? Great. Scoop up some more. Dollar cost average. Get more stores. The information's here. Thank you for being here, all of you. All the usual suspects and all the people that are new. This is what I do. I was begged to negotiate leases. I'm seeing the live chat. Current laundromat owner should have used Danny's system and not been in such a rush, would have saved $77,000. Thanks for taking the time to write that. Guys, the live chat goes away. When I publish this video, the live chat goes away. Chi-town Yale. Comment that in the regular comments once I go live if you don't mind. And I'd love to talk to you. All of my information is out there. I don't pay for adverts, nothing. You'll never see me come up on the right side of Facebook or on Instagram. I don't have to. I'm not a saint. I charge for what I do. I charge folks to make these calls. And eventually, when Vince is in his first, second, third store, he'll tell me, you know what? You need to charge more for this. I have multimillionaires that hire me and they say, bro, you're ridiculous. Your fees are preposterous. Your course, you can click right here and get the course. Subscribe. It's not going to change my day or my life. It's going to change yours. That's good. I got to get back on the phone. Any questions you have, put them directly in the comments to the video, guys. I appreciate all of you.